Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I am back again with some more tip outs to hide photos and journaling, and I have a different style to show today, so I hope you'll find this interesting even though I've done this a bit already. And this is the first of the Counterfeit Kit challenges for the month of November, and the challenge is to talk about something very current in your life. So I'm going to tell the story of my love-hate relationship with nail polish, which is an ongoing saga, and you've probably seen my nails change in the last few videos, the last couple weeks of videos. So I am not using my current counterfeit kit for this. I have an older kit that I had pieces left over from, and I knew I wanted to save those pieces together for telling kind of a girly story. So this was the perfect kit that I had sitting around for this story. A lot of this is Simple Stories, Kate and Ash, I believe, was the collection. A little bit of an older collection here. And I like all the icons on here because it definitely has a lot of girliness to it. But part of my story is how I'm not a girly girl, and that is part of my relationship with nail polish. So I have created a frame with my pattern paper and a sheet of cardstock, and now I am creating a title block out of a very neutral piece of pattern paper, and then I'm going to back it with a little bit of a bolder piece so that it can stand out against a lot of that pattern that I have in that background paper. At first I cut it a little bit big, and as I'm playing with it, I know I'm going to want to trim it down some. So I will go ahead and do that, and then I will get it adhered down to my layout and start building my title. I have a small alphabet and a larger gold alphabet because I like to mix and match my title styles, and the gold feels girly to me, so that's going to go with part of the title. But my whole title is going to read, I am not a girly girl, and the black letters there in the middle spell out the word not, and I want to give that more emphasis. So I am going to find another neutral pattern paper to back those letters, and both so that those letters stand out and so that it's another resting space on the layout for the eye, which honestly, I'm not great with resting space. So that is definitely one of the things I'm trying to grow my skills at. So tell me what you have a hard time with in scrapbooking. I'd love to know what your struggles are. All right, I created that circle for the word not, and the word at the end of my title says, I am not a girly girl, but. So I want to give that word but some more emphasis, but not quite as much emphasis as the word not, although I do get a little carried away with that a little bit later, and you'll see what I mean. I am doing a little bit of pin work to add the ellipses to let that title kind of hang in the air, and that's going to lead into an invitation basically to the reader to continue on with the journaling part of this layout. I am popping up that word not on some foam dots for yet a little bit more emphasis, a little pin work to add the apostrophe to I'm. And then I'm ready to move on to other bits of this layout. So I've got all my photos cut apart, and I am going to create a gatefold tip out for this. And a gatefold basically is where the opening is in the middle of the project and it opens from the middle outward. I'm going to use this black journaling card to be the mat and the structure for this gatefold. At first I cut this bolder yellow print to be the inside of the gatefold, but I'm going to change that up with the same blue calm print that I've got going on with my title. Both that is a repetition piece, and it is also another one of those calmer eye resting pieces. And again, I'm trying to make myself be a little bit better about that. So I have got the structure of my outer gatefold going on. I'm going to punch out a tab and include that on top there so that it's obvious for the reader to go ahead and open up this part of the layout. A little bit of adhesive, and oh no, I realized I've got my photos glued down upside down. So I'm going to take those apart and correct that. So I've got that fixed, and I've got my little lifting tab in place. So I am ready to construct this gatefold tip out. And here's where I'm starting to mess around with that pattern paper. And I realize, yep, I've made it too busy again. So I am going to swap that out. And part of me is contemplating other patterns that are busy too, but really, I need to keep it calm. So I grab that blue again, and I'm going to cut down a 4x6 block to be that inside part of this gatefold tip out. And in the past, I've done these tip outs with washi tape, but you can certainly do these with plain old Scotch tape. And because I had already started assembling things, I do have to be a little careful to tuck that tape in there. Yeah, Scotch tape will be, depending on the brand and quality of the Scotch tape, will be mostly invisible. It might show up on certain patterns, and I was having that issue a little bit with the outer door to these gatefolds in black. But I discovered that if I went ahead and burnished that down pretty well, then it was kind of blending in a bit better. All right, with the structure of my tip outs all in place, I am ready to position my photos on the inside, and the central photos are my nails, how they are right now, which is short and brittle and ripping apart because that is what fingernail polish does to my fingernails. The chemistry just kind of ruins my nails, so I can only do so much fingernail polish, which is the hate part of that because I really like the colors of fingernail polish. Now, my journaling block here is going to be another tip out because I have more to say on this layout, which is the other part that I don't like about nail polish and basically clothes and shoes and makeup and all of the things that I do avoid is how much fuss and time and energy all of that stuff takes. So I wanted lots of room for journaling to say all of that. And this journaling card, actually, I've created so that it will have a border around it. So that upper card is smaller than the lower card, and I am just taping to the size of the upper card. And if we take a pause here, you can see how the border goes all the way around and a big border at the bottom. Also notice that I used the journaling card that I had punched that half circle out of, and that makes a great notch for a little embellishment. And speaking of embellishments, I've pulled out the rest of the embellishments from this kit, which included some sequins, some special bumpy crystal drops from Queen & Company, and I can't quite remember what they're called, and then this really thin washi tape, which is pink with some gold shiny hearts on it. So I am going to put pops of shine on this layout because that tends to be a girly thing. So that washi tape will be a little bit of an accent to some of those areas that I wanted to highlight a little bit more. And then I believe, yes, I go to my sticker sheet and I'm going to pull out one sticker that talks about a selfie, and I'm going to add that to the front of this photo once I decide where it should get added, and add a little emphasis with the washi tape to that as well. And I think that's going to finish up my outer photo cluster. So I am going to come up with a few more embellishments from the chipboard pack. I found a pair of fake eyelashes, a heart, and then another little kind of heart word bubble, speech bubble, and then this word ugh, which goes along with my hate side of the my relationship with fingernail polish, and that has to do with how it just kind of damages my nails. And my nails aren't great anyway. They go through a flux of being long, and then once they get too long, they start breaking and chipping and getting hangnails and all of these things. So my nails just aren't great, which is probably better that I don't like to be a girly girl because then I don't have to worry about it so much. Okay, so I added an arch of sparkles around the word but in my title, and that is how I kind of emphasized that word a little bit because it does lead into me telling, even though I don't like a lot of girly stuff, I do like nail polish despite all the challenges I have with it. All right, so I've added those embellishments on the outside. I did add a sticker banner to the bottom of my journaling block and up to the top of my title block. And so that is for repetition and emphasis in those areas and just a little bit of decoration. Here I am trimming down another journal card to add more journaling inside of this tip out. And here's where I decide that I want to reverse where the photo is. Because that tip out is cut on the left-hand side, that is a better place for the eye to flow into it instead of it being kind of a harsh cutoff at the beginning. It is an entry from the photos into the journaling, if that makes any sense. So that's why I did that way. I am adding a couple of arrows to highlight the areas of my fingernails that are damaged, and then just a little bit of a sticker with a word and heart embellishment on the other photo. And that is enough to finish off this layout. I feel like I've left enough breathing room on this layout to improve that visual resting space element of design, and the tip outs helped me do that, because otherwise all of that stuff would have filled my page from edge to edge yet again. So I hope you enjoyed something about this video, and if you did, I would appreciate a thumbs up because that does help my channel. I will be back next week with just a couple of videos because I have a longer supply stretcher video where I take one supply or idea and stretch it into as many uses as I can, and I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. Until then, have an artful day.